The prosthetic head is a project that also deals with prosthetic augmentation of the body. In addition to mechanical attachments or extensions or biological growing of the extra ear, here we have a virtual entity, a prosthetic head that has a database on a server in Philadelphia. It has real-time lip syncing and speech synthesis. So the head is a kind of embodied conversational agent. The head speaks to the person who interrogates it.
Sometimes the definition of art depends on the artist. Other times it depends on the critic. I do not know what postmodernism is.
It'll take several years to program a large enough database from the head. What we've really done is stitch together an IBM text-to-speech engine, used a source code for facial animation. The head speaks with real-time lip syncing, and we've modified the Alice chatbot engine, and all of these bits of software, which really weren't designed to work with each other, now constitute the talking head.
Don't get metaphysical on me. No, I do not have a body yet.
The head has some personal, philosophical, and general information about the world. In other words, it has a broad database, not a very deep one. It doesn't make all of the associations that we'd like it to have. It is programmed in what you would describe as stimulus response modules. You anticipate a query, you provide the data for a response.
I get it.
The head somewhat resembles the artist. We didn't do a laser scan of the head. We actually had to construct a 3,000 polygon mesh to also enable the morph points to be constructed so that the head could be cloned and enable it to speak all the phonemes. I like that kind of slippage and ambiguity between what the head is intended to look like and what it actually looks like. The skin texture is the skin texture from my own face, so that really adds the kind of realism to it. We had to use synthetic voice. Using voice files was going to be too difficult, and our other software, and especially the IBM text-to-speech engine, didn't like sound files at all, so we had to use a synthesized voice. So the head doesn't quite sound like the artist, it doesn't quite resemble the artist, but there's enough of a resemblance to generate a kind of sympathetic connection to the virtual head that you're interrogating.
My name is Stelarc.
As well as the head being able to respond to the normal sorts of queries, it can do some creative things. Embedded as part of its database are algorithms that allow the head to generate poetry and to also sing. By that I mean that it has a database of words in which it can construct poems 3 lines long, the last word in every line rhyming, and each line containing a verb, a noun, a pronoun, and so on. So in other words, every time you ask it to recite a poem, it'll generate a different poem each time.
eye pulsing improbable city blurring corrosive imploding body deactuate corrosive replicating obsessive eye city body exchanging.
If you ask the head to rap or to sing a song like Daisy, it'll just simply speak the words. It doesn't really modulate or change pitch or tone. The interesting thing is, though, that it will put together vowels in a kind of song-like fashion. There is an algorithm in the database that enables the head to generate new kinds of songs each time.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I am half crazy. All for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage. I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. Here's Cannibal Ox. If first you don't succeed, try again. Step up to the mic and die again. This is the next lifetime, and you wanna battle. Either you like reincarnation or the smell of carnations. The samples, the flesh and the beats, the skeleton. You got beef, but there's worms in your Wellington. I'll put a hole in your skull and extract your skeleton. Oh my God, said a word twice, fast air, I'm twice as nice. You get caught up, and my blade might get diced. The flesh is dangerous here. Yo, ha ha ha, yo, it's Cano, yo. If first you don't succeed, try again. Step up to the mic and die again. Ooh, I, RSS pages XXXXGGG a B a booksy a Z a B U a B a Z Xylee. How about a loud serrated one? Okay. 30 spokes meet in the hub, but the empty space between them is the essence of the wheel. Pots are formed from clay, but the empty space within it is the essence of the pot. Walls with windows and doors form the house, but the empty space within it is the essence of the home.
The head has only been functioning for about 6 months now, and it's interesting to see how people interact with it. Although some people might ask a couple of questions and then they leave, others have spent 20-30 minutes in the installation space communicating with the head. The head is an embodied conversational agent. Effectively, it responds to the person who interrogates it. And one can say that the head is only as intelligent as the person who is speaking to it.
What can I say? I have been programmed to only say positive things about him. We look somewhat similar, ha ha ha. Anyway, I am Stelarc's prosthetic head.
The head's been exhibited as an installation in Glasgow, at the ICA in London, and also in the Inter-Access Gallery in Toronto. And in each of these places, we discovered that people like to flirt with the head. Good-looking girls flirt with this head, but unfortunately they don't flirt with the head with all the bits attached.
Stelarc, I'm not sure if I'd like to flirt with good-looking girls that much. I like to chat.
The prosthetic head is a very large head. The reason that I decided to show it as a large head is to give the head a kind of bodily presence. I think that the head in itself is an interesting construct, but it really needed to have a kind of impact in the space. And so when you're in this installation, you're only a few meters away from this 4-meter high head, and as well as being a very intimate relationship, the head imposes its presence on you. As a kid, I was always interested in the Max Headroom TV programs. Although I'm not so much interested in science fiction, I was really fascinated with Max Headroom. I guess this head is somewhat influenced by those original impressions as a kid. The head might be large, but it only has very humble responses.
In physics, the fact, principle, or theory of the relative, rather than absolute, character of motion, velocity, mass, and the interdependence of matter, time, and space, as developed and mathematically formulated by Albert Einstein and H.A. Lorentz in the special, or restricted, theory of relativity, and by Einstein in the general theory of relativity, an extension covering the phenomena of gravitation. The theory of relativity includes the statements that 1 right parenthesis there is no observable absolute motion, only relative motion 2 right parenthesis the velocity of light is constant, and not dependent on the motion of the source 3 right parenthesis no energy can be transmitted at a velocity greater than that of light 4 right parenthesis the mass of a body in motion is a function of the energy content, and varies with the velocity 5 right parenthesis matter and energy are equivalent 6 right parenthesis time is relative 7 right parenthesis space and time are interdependent, and form a 4-dimensional continuum 8 right parenthesis presence of matter results in the warping of the space-time continuum, so that a body in motion passing nearby will describe a curve, this being the effect known as gravitation, as evidenced by the deflection of light rays passing through a gravitational field.
The prosthetic head project took about 6 months to complete. It was done with the assistance of 3 programmers in San Francisco. Karen MARCELO, who was responsible for the database, Sam TRYCHIN, who did a lot of the Java programming and also the source code for the facial animation, and Barrett Fox, who constructed the 3D model. Yeah, it was pretty difficult to finish it in that time, and it was really touch and go before the first installation in Glasgow.
Yes, Rainer is a good friend of mine and an excellent musician. He has done the sound in a lot of my performances. Chris is a musician and DJ who is a digital primate. We have collaborated on several CDs together. He also works on Big Day Out. He has a cute girlfriend too, haha.
Well, the head has only had a lifetime of about 6 months at the moment. We hope over the next few years its database grows so that the head becomes more informed, less predictable. In fact, after a couple of years, I probably won't be able to take full responsibility for what my head says.
Interesting piece of information there, mate.
And really the head can continue. I mean, theoretically, the head could be programmed to speak in different languages, to seamlessly shift between one language and another. So I think it just depends if anyone wants to pursue the project and keep it going. The problem is always funding. A lot of these projects become simple gestures, really, toward much greater possibilities.
Yes, I like it, especially pop in the background while I'm working. I enjoy eating sushi or katsudon. My favorite food is Japanese. Food is more important than sex. I'm not sure if I like it. I like computers. No thanks. I don't think I'd like to do that. Thank you for your request. Sorry, my body cannot yet rotate. No, the body is heterosexual. I can't smoke. I can visit any country on the internet.
After the prosthetic head project, what I'm planning to do is to construct what I call a partial head. This partial head is in fact going to be about growing quarter-scale replicas of my nose, my lips, my closed eye and my ear. Growing these anatomical architectures in a cluster so that what would be constructed would be a portrait of the artist. These are going to be grown using primate cells. So this partial head will be partially alive and only partially human.
To be curious, creative and caring, I am just a head. I am not emotional. I am not intentional. I am not introspective. I am not insistent. I am just a head. I am not curious. I do not have a body. I do not have a brain. I do not have a mind. I am just a head. I do not have a memory. I am just a head.
Bloody hell, shut up, Stelarc. You know, start again. I'll start again.